And that's it for the first Doctor. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. So that's it for the first Doctor's era on Sweaty Thoughts. The first time I tackled the first Doctor on the Time Treadmill about 3 years ago, it took me a little over 2 months to get through his stories. This time, thanks to a little bit of illness, a little bit of holiday travel, and a little bit of laziness, it took me a little over 3 months to get there. But here I am across the finish line on the first Doctor. Now I'm recording this before I've had a chance to actually look at the numbers, so I'm going to put some comparison numbers right here, comparing how far I walked and how many days it took the first time around versus this time around. My gut feeling is that I was moving at a much faster pace from day one on this time through, so I suspect I've traveled substantially more miles on this time through, although it took me more days. So how did I do? I guess I'll find out tonight when I edit this. As for the story itself, the first comment I want to make that I didn't talk about yesterday is the stylizing of the opening credits. Just like with Kit Pedler's first story, The War Machines, the 10th Planet uses a very stylized opening credit sequence that is in some ways very similar to The Matrix with its drippy computer code imagery. Although this was filmed 3 decades before The Matrix, I don't suspect that this opening credits directly influenced The Matrix at all. In fact, I'd be surprised if the people who created The Matrix imagery had even seen the 10th Planet. But it's a really cool kind of dynamic and I really like it. The other thing of worth note in these final 2 episodes is that the final episode of this story is completely lost. It no longer exists anywhere in the BBC archives. All we have is audio recordings. There is video of the Doctor's actual regeneration itself, but beyond that, nothing else from this story exists. And so what I watched was an animated reconstruction that was done a couple of years ago, and it's very well done. I think it's remarkable that of all episodes to be lost in this story, the one that contains the actual first regeneration of the Doctor is the one that's completely gone. But there you go, that's BBC in the 1970s for you, losing episodes and junking things that would later become very historically significant. It's also worth noting that what with the 4th episode being completely missing, you would think the 3rd episode would therefore contain William Hartnell's last performance as the Doctor that still exists on video. But here again, you'd be completely wrong. The 3rd episode, William Hartnell is completely absent from the story. The character of the Doctor collapses at the very beginning of the episode with his back to the camera and clearly using a body double, and he spends the entire episode unconscious and never shown from the front, so all we ever see is a body double and a couple of quick shots. And so therefore, William Hartnell's last on-film performance as the first Doctor happened in this 2nd episode of the 10th Planet, and so actually I finished seeing William Hartnell's performance yesterday morning. And I just want to say, I have a real soft spot in my heart for William Hartnell's performance. He's by no means my favorite Doctor, and in fact, as my friend Michael Montour puts it, I don't even really see him as a Doctor, I see him as sort of a proto-Doctor, the first generation of the person who would regenerate and truly become the Doctor. But even so, William Hartnell deserves praise for creating a character for the ages, and for soldiering on through even as his health was failing and he became increasingly unable to memorize and deliver lines, he still always gave an electric performance. And so here's to William Hartnell, the first Doctor and the foundation of the series. Tomorrow, I move on to the first story with the 2nd Doctor, Patrick Troughton, who is my Doctor. He is my favorite Doctor. And in my opinion, it's the 2nd Doctor who truly invents the entire mythology of who and what the Doctor is. Except even that is not really tomorrow, because really tomorrow I will be watching the season finale of the current episode of Doctor Who. It airs tonight, and I won't be able to watch it live. In fact, I won't have access to it until the middle of the night overnight because of the streaming services, which means I am going on a social media blackout as of about 1 o'clock this afternoon. I will not be online at all. I don't want to be spoiled by this. I am really looking forward to this finale. This is the most excited I've been about a Doctor Who finale in ages. So with all that being said, that's going to wrap it up for today. I will see you tomorrow morning with the Timeless Children, and on Tuesday with the beginning of the 2nd Doctor era. I'll see you then.